Okay, be honest. When you see a super flashy sports car, what's your first thought? Is it, wow, that driver must be so cool? Well, according to author Morgan Housel, probably not. We're going to unpack a really powerful idea from his book, The Psychology of Money. And trust me, it might just change the way you think about wealth for good. And it all kicks off with this really sharp observation. Think about it for a second. The last time a Ferrari or a Lambo just roared past you on the street, what really went through your head? Was it, man, what a cool guy? Or was it something else? This quote here gets right to the heart of it. Our brains just don't work the way we think they do. So where does this whole idea come from? Well, it actually comes from the author's own life. Back when he was in college, he worked as a valet at a fancy hotel in Los Angeles, and he saw something that completely shaped this entire concept. I mean, like most of us, right? He dreamed of owning one of these incredible cars. And he figured, yeah, a car like that sends a message. It screams, I've made it. I'm smart. I'm important. Pay attention to me. But yeah, that assumption, it turned out to be totally off base. Because here's the twist. As he's parking these dream cars day in and day out, he has this big realization. All his admiration, all his focus, it was always on the car itself. The person behind the wheel, the actual owner, they were practically invisible. All right, so let's unpack the man in the car paradox. This one simple observation pulls back the curtain on this really weird quirk in our psychology. Housel calls it the man in the car paradox, and it's all about the massive disconnect between why we buy expensive stuff and how other people actually perceive it. So this quote really nails it. This is the paradox in a nutshell. When we see somebody else's incredible car, we don't think about admiring them. Nope. Instead, we immediately use that car as a prop in our own little mental movie about how cool we would look if we were driving it. So it begs the question, right? That person who actually bought the Ferrari, they probably dropped all that cash hoping to get admiration from people. Well, from people like us. But what if that admiration just never arrives? And here's the hard truth of it all. People see the fancy car, the huge house, the expensive watch, and their brain doesn't go, wow, that person must be amazing. It goes, wow, I want that car. I want that house. Your big display of wealth just becomes a benchmark for their own desires. So the bottom line is this. If what you're really after is respect and admiration from others, horsepower is a pretty terrible way to get it. Real respect, the kind that lasts, it doesn't come from what you own. It comes from who you are. Things like humility, kindness, and empathy, they'll take you way further than a V12 engine ever will. Okay, section 3, rich versus wealthy. And this is more than just semantics. To really get this, we have to be super clear on our terms. We throw around the words rich and wealthy like they're the same thing, but they're actually worlds apart. I love this definition because it cuts right to the chase. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. It's so simple, it's almost funny, but it's also incredibly easy to forget, isn't it? Okay, so let's break this down. Being rich, that's the stuff you see. It's about current income being spent on visible things, the cars, the houses. It's about being known. But being wealthy, that's totally different. It's hidden. It's the income you don't spend. It's financial assets, stuff that's working for you behind the scenes. True wealth doesn't need an audience. All right, next up, wealth is what you don't see, the hidden nature of financial success. This really builds on that last point. We have to learn to separate what looks like success from what success actually is. Think about it. When you see someone driving a $100,000 car, what do you actually know for sure? Not much. The only thing you know for a fact is that they have $100,000 less than they did before they bought it. Or maybe $100,000 more in debt. That's it. That's the only concrete data you have. So what is wealth then? It's the nice cars you didn't buy. It's the diamonds you passed on. The watches you decided not to wear. The first-class upgrade you declined. Wealth is all the money you didn't spend on stuff. Here's another way to think about it. Wealth is really just the financial assets that haven't been turned into visible stuff yet. It's not the things themselves, it's the option to buy those things later. It's flexibility, it's potential, it's freedom. You know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, but people genuinely need to hear this. There's a famous story about Rihanna's financial advisor who, after she almost went broke, had to explain this to her. He said, was it really necessary to tell her that if you spend money on things, you will end up with the things and not the money? It's hilarious because it's so obvious, but so many of us ignore it. And this gets to a huge misconception. So many people say they want to be a millionaire, but what they really mean is they want to spend $1 million. But those are literally the opposite things. Being a millionaire means having the $1 million, not getting rid of it.
Okay, so if wealth isn't about buying a bunch of flashy stuff, then what's the point? What's the real payoff for all the saving and discipline? What does wealth actually buy you?
The answer is freedom. It's a ladder of financial freedom that gives you real, tangible options in your life. It starts small, like being able to take a few sick days without worrying about the rent. Then it gets bigger, like having the runway to wait for a good job after a layoff, not just the first one that comes along. It's not being terrified of your boss. It's being able to take a job that pays less but gives you more time and flexibility. It's facing a medical emergency without the added terror of financial ruin.
And ultimately, that's the highest dividend money pays. It's control over your time. More than any car, more than any watch, the single greatest thing money can buy is the ability to wake up every morning and have complete control over your schedule. To say, I can do what I want, when I want, with who I want. That is priceless.
So that leaves us with one last question to think about. What's more important to you, looking rich or having the freedom to live life completely on your own terms? The next time you see that flashy car, I hope you'll remember this paradox, because true wealth isn't the car you see, it's the invisible power to choose whether you even want the car in the first place.